Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek bonus round for Ant-Man Quantumania. Spoiler
Ant-Man and the
cast
And the
of this
Wasp.
Wasp
Ant-Man and the
in
Ant-Man and
Wasp
Wasp
Quantumania.
in Quantumania.
in Quantumania. Yes, Ant-Man 3. Let's just go that way. Ant-Man and Wasp. This is a bonus round, folks. We are live streaming on Twitch on Tuesday nights starting at 8 o'clock, so
hmm
you can join us for our regularly scheduled episodes. But we do bonus rounds. And a lot of times they
And
are
full
spoiler.
spoilers. Full
And they are full spoilers.
spoilers.
A lot of times they're spoiler casts because we all seem to watch a movie. We don't all play the same games. It's very rare we do a bonus round for a game, and that means it's probably pretty exceptional.
Mm.
So look out for those. But yeah, so we all went and saw this movie. My trek was a little more perilous. Uh, my movie was unfortunately during a massive accident where I had to take back roads, and I almost died twice on these back roads before I just turned around and said I'm not going to the movies tonight. So I had to go see it on another day, and but yeah, I mean I saw it, and it's fun. It's a fun movie, but we're gonna get into spoilers, folks. So once again, last warning for those who don't have not seen this yet. If you don't care about spoilers,
Yeah.
Stick
sit
around.
around.
Yeah, save yourself $20. Listen to it.
Yeah, listen to this. We'll chat about the major parts, Bill Murray, stuff like that. So
Fuck
that's
Bill
it. Last
Murray.
warning. We're done. Hey man, that's the last warning. I like Bill Murray in this. I did. I'm sorry, but I did.
No, that's fine, but I'm just saying fuck Bill Murray as a person. Actor,
Okay,
he's
okay.
fine.
That one. Yeah, I can't argue on that. Okay, there's no arguments
He's
here.
a
Uh,
scumbag.
yeah, I mean, I just when we get to that part, I would like to discuss that. But I just feel like this movie, as we mentioned in the movie cast, I mentioned on my, I didn't talk about it last week, unfortunately, but like it's never been a more, I guess, middle of the road movie for me. Like I think that's a perfect explanation. There's nothing wrong with the movie. It's not horrible. It's
Mm.
fun in certain parts. It can look fantastic and it can look horrible, because it's all CG done. And I don't know. I feel like it's not a miss in my opinion. I liked it, but
Yeah.
it's not one of those I gotta rewatch this immediately kind of thing. It's not that kind of movie.
No.
So for me, but
Yeah, I saw it, and I guess all right, it's not as bad. It's not as bad as the critics say, for sure. Like I
no,
think the
no,
critics
I thought that
panned
was
it
yeah,
undeservingly, but at the same time, what it was kind of propped up to be and what it turned out to be, I just felt like there was so many like
yeah,
missed opportunities and things left off the table that they didn't have in this movie. There's just a lot of potential there that was just
Yeah.
missed.
Yeah. I mean, I'll agree with that. Like, I just think the status quo was maintained a bit too much in this one. And
yeah,
Mm,
even we'll get to the ending and stuff like that, where it's like, or is it? And it's like, come on,
mm.
man, like just fucking do something. And the thing is, like, I read this interview where they actually said they walked back some darker endings. I'm just like, why? Like, why would
hmm
you?
I feel like they had a good
Yeah.
opportunity to
Um.
shake the boat a little better, like rock the boat, I
Mhm.
guess,
Yeah,
rock the
yeah,
boat, shake the tree. I don't know if mix of those sayings, but I think they had a great opportunity with that, and they kind of copped out on it. Um, but they played into that at the end too. They even like kind of said they kind of played it into an Ant-Man ending,
yeah.
which we'll get into. But I think the beginning of this movie, I felt the beginning of the movie was probably the weakest part. Like I felt like
Absolutely. The first third is
it was a
yeah.
yeah, like it was like a forced. Here's the story. We're forcing this on you guys. Here's the story. Like you're gonna accept this because all this happenstance is happening, and now once we get in here, it's good, but we have to get there first. So,
Mm.
um, I think with his daughter meddling with the quantum
The
that
quantum
whole
realm,
thing, the
yeah.
quantum realm, I think that was kind of like it felt a little bit over the top, especially with
I
uh,
don't know if to me it didn't feel over the top. I felt it was over the top, if you're gonna say over the top for anything, was Janet's reaction to the
I thought
quantum
Hank.
realm after all this stuff. Because Hank didn't even know. Like I'm like, yeah, he's working with
Yeah, but he was the
m-
one. He was so afraid of that quantum realm forever, and like now he's just working with her to go back in there. I mean, after all the problems they've had, I just feel like that was, I don't know. I feel like that was not in
I
character for
don't know if
that
he was
either.
afraid. He just couldn't crack the code to get
Yeah,
there. So
I don't
like
know.
Janet was all like, whatever, it doesn't matter in the second movie. Like, oh yeah, at the
Yeah,
end of
yeah,
that when they get dusted, they're going back in. I mean, like,
yeah,
and now she's all up like terrified of this guy, and like they prop up this character to be this super dominating evil, dictator, and they don't even say his name. Oh my gosh, we can't even say the
Yeah,
name for 40 minutes, and
I
then
didn't like that. Didn't like that either. But
I just hate
I
the whole
just
trope of like the one character knows information and just will not tell the other characters. I'm just like,
yeah.
please, for the love of
gotcha.
God, like, what do you?
Yeah.
That's the
It's
one thing I
such a
was just like,
trope.
why are we like we're asking you? We need to know this
Yeah,
information. No, we cannot say we can't even say this guy's name. Like it's like say, just tell us we're already in the shit. Like
yeah,
just
we're
give
this
us the
shit.
information so we're all on the same
Like
page.
they're already there when that happened, and she won't tell them. Yeah, I get that
Hmm.
part. Like when they're like the beginning starts off with that, and them getting transported to the quantum realm. However you want to say, like I feel like that was the more the forced plot for me. But once I got to the quantum realm, um, you know, I don't know. Her character just did annoy me for like the first half of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Janet.
Overall I thought Michelle Pfeiffer did a great job, and I actually liked her
Yeah,
character. Once she started divulging information,
yeah, she was great. Yeah,
I liked her character. I feel like half the movie was her not divulging information, making the movie longer.
yeah.
Hmm.
Right? I
It's
mean,
again people like holding things back that causes the biggest issues. It's
yeah,
like just get
Yeah.
people to know so that way this doesn't happen. Like
it's a
this
very
could have
common
all been
trope, right? I
avoided.
mean, it's a very common trope with
Hmm.
it. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to happen in the first half, really. I
And
mean,
that's the
really,
thing that annoys me. And honestly, it's gonna run the gamut here. Like we gotta, it'll talk about it in the ending too. But I just felt like it felt like such a retread of Ragnarok, where like you have that like
Yeah, I
the
get that vibe too. I
residents
get
that
that.
are suddenly here is like, okay, I guess I'll buy that. But it's like, oh, and we're under evil dictatorship, and we're rebels and stuff like that. Well, gotta help the rebels, and it's like we already did this plot, including the prison break thing. Like you did this
Hmm.
already.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that the people in the quantum realm was kind of that was another hard part to swallow because I'm like, you didn't hear anything about that. And I don't know, the rebels. I think there was a lot of characters that they had ideas for, and they just didn't. Again, another part that I think it just needed more, and it wasn't even a short movie. It was 2 hours and 5 minutes, but it didn't give us enough of what we needed.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's the best thing
Well, again,
to say.
there's so many things left off the table, like so many missed opportunities, so many things that just were either sidestepped or just didn't come up again or not explained properly. I mean, for one, if you watched Infinity War and Endgame, like you understood that Scott was in the quantum realm and did not age for 5 years.
Yeah.
And yet Janet was in the quantum realm and aged 30 years. And it's like, what? Why is that? But they don't necessarily explain that to you. You just gotta, find it out through other means and different one lines here and there. Like, oh well, there's these time pockets that happen in what is it, the end credit sequence when they're getting dusted and he's in the thing. He's like, oh, don't watch out for the time pockets. Time acts differently there, and yet they send Kang down into the quantum realm because there is no time, and he's all about time, and they
Yeah.
don't do anything with time. And they had could have there's so many opportunities with all this time that was lost and all this time that could be gained with Janet, with Hank,
Yeah,
with Scott, with his daughter, which I forget her name. What's her name?
Cassie.
Cassie,
Kathy.
thank
Yeah.
you. And there's all these opportunities for time, and Kang is all about time. He knows
Yes.
everything about time, and he says, "I can give you time back,"
Yeah.
and the thing that you want the most. And they just don't ever bring that up again. It's just there's no follow through on that, and that was kind of like a huge miss for me as far as where that character was going and what they could have done with it. And again, the whole not explaining how time works down here, and yet time does not work the same because Janet's aging and Scott's not aging, and it was a 5 minute feeling for him. It's like what is there's no rhyme or
Yeah.
reason for it.
I
Even
know.
for someone who's watched every single movie and TV show, I'm like I still don't understand like what is going on there.
Yeah. And
And then the
so
ants hit a time thing and age 1,000 years.
Yep.
yes. That was the other part. It was just like they were super advanced. I mean, I like the fact that they were in this, but I don't know. So we had let's see, Hope, Janet, Hope.
Well, they get this separated, right? So Cassie and Scott get separated from
Yeah.
Janet, Hank, and Hope.
Yep.
And
And
so, like,
they get
Janet
to
already
see.
has some familiarity with this area and knows what's going on down there, and then
Yeah, so they went to
yeah.
see that Lord Krylar, which is Bill Murray. And I actually liked that sequence quite a bit. I don't know. I actually
This is
really,
where it felt like so much like Star
yeah,
Wars-y,
I mean, that's
like
why I liked it. You're right, because I did get, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it
like
definitely
the
felt like
little
Ghost Isley Cantina.
cantina.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
maybe that's why I liked it so much. But yeah, I think that I really enjoyed that part at the table, talking and kind of negotiating sort of things, and realizing that they were kind of sold out. I mean, it's kind of
Hmm.
obvious, obviously, but for them it wasn't. And I don't know. I enjoyed that. Meanwhile, you have the rebels capturing um,
Drink
Cassie
the
and
ooze.
Scott.
Drink
Drink
the
Yeah,
the.
drink me. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I did enjoy that
I
interaction with
did like
them.
the realization that with Hank and Hope that they're uh, Janet had banged Bill Murray's character. They're like, how close, friend? Just like whatever, and talk about. Wait, you're not human? Well, not in the not in the colloquial sense, but in all the ways that matter. And it's like so much sexual tension. You're like, ew, like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that that was great. I mean, anything to talk about before we get to like the Modoc attack? Um,
I just felt
I
like
mean, that's right
the
there.
first third was just like so slow, but like it wasn't. You didn't get anything meaningful out of it, and that's I guess
No,
the
that's what I'm
biggest
saying. Like
disappointment
we're
to me.
rushing through it here.
Mhm.
Like Modoc is really where the movie I think really started.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
you get and I just could not get past his. I just couldn't get past his CG.
Mhm.
Um, I just I liked. I actually didn't mind that it was what's his name from
Darren,
Ant-Man 1,
Darren.
Darren. I thought that was funny. I know that people who are MODOK fans, I don't know how many of them are out there in the world, but I know that there are MODOK fans who are upset. But I didn't mind it at all. I just
Mhm.
felt like the CG just didn't work at all for his. It was
Mhm.
so
No, it was so much
jarring.
better when his face was the helmet thing
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you
When his
didn't
helmet
have
was
to
on, it
look
was
at the bad
fine.
Yeah,
CG. Hmm.
Yeah, when his helmet was fine when his helmet was on, and it reminded me of the Thor with the kid's face floating, the floating face is what that remind. Every time Darren was on the screen, I was like with his face. I'm like,
Hmm.
it just reminded me of that too much. And but I liked Modoc because it's Modoc, and I remember the cart. I watched the Hulu like the was it claymation on that one, right? That was
Hmm.
stop motion, wasn't it? So I think that I don't know. It reminded me of that, and I don't know much about the character at all, so it's fine with me.
yeah.
Um, but we really get to kick off the movie right there, where we get to meet the villain essentially. And I listen again. Jonathan Majors plays Kang fantastic. I'm sorry. I really do like
Yeah,
him as I
no, he's
do
great.
like him.
He's great.
And I loved the villain in this movie. I just didn't love how it ended for the villain, and I'll get to that at the end. But I feel like I just loved his awkwardness to how uh like he's a nice guy sort of, but he's not. And it's like I just love that like I kind of like this guy, but then I'm like, oh, he's just such a he's a bad guy then, right? But I'm like I still kind of like him. But you know, I just love that as a villain. Like the villains you can kind of like, you know, still really enjoy to watch and I don't know. Different
Well,
vibe,
and again,
but
with him, it was interesting. I have to agree completely. His performance was amazing, and the way he talked about in an interview about how every king he
it's gonna play
approached as
different.
a different person and how they behave, and like this king, the King the Conqueror, which they call out a few times here. So he's obviously coming back because I think he's gonna be like the main one. But
Yeah, I do
he
think so
like
too.
it's all about not wasting movement and like so you see it in how he moves, how he talks, and how he like behaves and everything. And so it was really cool. But like yeah, the character itself, it just again like you have this character and it's about he's all about knowing everything about everything and like oh if I
Yeah,
killed you before like
every multiverse,
mhm.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this is like just don't follow up on it. It's like well, are we doing phase five or are we
Well,
not doing phase five?
that's my problem with overall with the villain of this movie. I think that making Kang the villain was a mistake. I liked him a lot, but that was the mistake in the movie was because like they're trying to impose this new Thanos on the Marvel world, and having this villain discuss the fact that he's killed Avengers multiple times. How am I supposed to believe that Scott's going to take him down by himself?
Well, he
I'm
doesn't.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, he does it.
But
It's because it's a suit, right? The other thing that's weird is that he I had a point I was gonna make about his like his plan and how it'll come back to me. Get it
I
on.
mean, I liked
yeah,
him. I just wish they had shown more in the flash or the like when Janet
I like the
touches
flashback.
the
Oh yeah,
touch the thing. Like we should
yeah.
have seen a bit more. Like I would have loved like just Visions like expanded upon, like him fucking up Avengers. Like just you could do you could
Multiple
do Iron
deaths.
Man
Yeah.
CGI. You could do Thor from behind. Like you don't have these actors, but you could absolutely use like all these other characters. And
Well,
stuff like
because
that.
the way you're doing this, you're going to take him at his word, and you're like, I don't think he's done that. So he could just be bluffing.
Right.
I don't know if he's killed Avengers. But yeah, I love the flashback with her and him helping to try to restore
The chair.
his chair, and like I loved that whole thing, and I loved how she decided to not he can't go, so she made it supersized. I love that. That was like the coolest feature of this movie in terms of using the size thing properly, like the innovative ways to use it. I thought that thing was great idea, and in a micro world to make something giant size like the sun, so he can't use it.
Yeah.
It was such a cool idea. I love that actually, a part of this movie, and but like it does establish who he is, and then when you get Scott and Cassie captured, it makes him more of the imposing character
Right. And
that he is.
they wanted to make him seem like this, like, because he was cast out. Like at first, you feel like he was cast out because he was too strong. He was too
That's what I thought. But yeah,
right. He's too powerful. He's the conqueror, right? The King dynasty doesn't want him in the dynasty because he's gonna disrupt everything. Because he's gonna be too strong. And then like even Janet says that like he's like, what are you gonna do when you get out? He's like, oh, I'm gonna win. Like that's all. It's like I'm gonna win. I'm gonna save everything because my other me's are gonna destroy everything.
yeah.
And you're like, but you don't really get that feeling though. So I don't know.
No, I mean it's almost like they were trying to start that with the movie and they never finished it with the movie. Like
Right?
it's like
Is
they
he the
had an
bad guy or are
idea.
they the bad guys? I don't.
They had an
I have
idea
no
with
idea.
it. Yeah. Well, I mean the post credit scenes we get that a little bit, but yeah. So we have the deal made out with Scott and Kang about going to get this thing with a really really slightly fun sequence with him. Um, I mean
We talk about
the shrinking to get the
The
into the
paradox?
energy core.
Oh.
The energy core, yeah. No, to shrink the energy core back down.
yeah.
He
So when
needs.
he goes in there and he's got all of his
And the
other
paradox. Yes, I'm sorry, the paradox. You're right.
his
Yeah,
possibilities of
the
his,
possibility docs, whatever they call it. Yeah.
that
We're,
that was my favorite sequence of this movie.
Yeah, I
I
thought it was
love
awesome.
the Baskin Robbins.
Mhm.
That was fun. I love the Baskin Robbins, and then you have Wasp. You have her showing up to actually, um, help out there. I'm like, I feel like her character didn't do as much as I expected. I just
Yeah, they
I
weren't
don't
really
know if they.
together as much.
I think
Yeah,
they
I
reined her
guess what it
in
was.
after
Okay,
Certain
after
off.
certain things.
Yeah.
her being anti-vax.
I know what it
Yeah.
was, but I don't know if that was the case because, she's not super controversial except for that. But I just feel like I don't know. I didn't like her use of character. If they weren't going to use her as a character, and I thought she's a great character, then why not recast? You know what I'm saying? Like, if they really were that upset with her, I just feel like they just didn't have a story planned out properly for her. And I don't know. I like her in this sequence. That was great. It was awesome to have them both going through
Like
that.
this sequence, like I said, this is my favorite sequence in this movie, and I love the fact that there's all these Scots getting created, like every time, like all these possibilities, and they're
Versus.
all
Yeah.
like kind of trying to do their own thing, and then they realize they all have the same end goal, and that they work together and they act like ants to like climb
Well,
on each other.
isn't that like
And
what the
so,
multiverse idea is about? Like, isn't that like that's the idea? It's a multiverse essentially. Every choice makes
yeah,
another multiverse.
exactly. Yeah, so
So-
like I said, that was my favorite sequence because at first they're all just like, oh, we gotta get this thing, and they're all working individually, and then when they realize, we gotta save Cassie, and they all come together to help the one helmetless
Yep.
Scott go, and then same thing with like Hope. You see all of them get
Hope
sucked
sends
in
him-
together.
yeah.
That was that was a really cool sequence, and like I said, that was I think the best use of the Quantum
Yeah.
Mania
Idea.
title, I
Yeah.
guess, whatever.
Yeah. And did Kang really go back on his word? Because I feel like Scott wasn't giving him the information anyways. So
No, that's the thing that felt weird is that like Kang has no reason to go back on the deal. Like
Hmm.
it felt so weird. Like you got it, but
Yep.
then
yeah,
at the
hang
same
on. I'll be right
time,
back. Keep talking. I'll
Mhm.
be right back.
Yeah, and like it's like Cassie's meaningless in the grand scheme of things to
yeah,
him. So like just give her back. Just like who cares?
yeah, like
He
and
did everything you asked him to.
right. And the thing that maybe like, and again, I'm not a movie writer, movie director, whatever, but like I felt like maybe if she had escaped his clutches while Scott was in there, and then he didn't have Kang didn't have Cassie to give
Right.
back to her, that would have made more sense to me. Like, oh, well, I can't give you her because
Hmm.
she's dead. Like maybe he
I
thought she died or something like
right.
that, you know.
Yeah.
And that would have been the motivation for Scott to get super pissed off rather than just you lied to me. It's like you expect a villain to be honest with you? Like, come on, man. I would expect every villain to lie to my face.
Hmm.
But you know, that's just me. I don't know if that would have worked out, but you know, that's just my gut reaction. Like, yeah, why didn't you just
Yeah.
have her escape?
It seemed weird that he just all of a sudden would just go back. Because from everything you saw before, he seemed like a man of his word. He
Right.
seemed like somebody you would, if he said he was going to do something, he was going to do it. Like,
Right. Plus, like, I mean,
there
if
was
he's
no indication of not.
yeah, I mean, like the thing is too is like he has like all these other universes to worry about. Like he could have just been like, all right, yeah, fine, I'll leave yours alone.
Yeah,
That's
peace
fine.
out.
Like you know,
Right.
who cares? I got a million
Yep.
other ones to deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was definitely the best sequence. And then where do we go from there? That then we got the
That's when,
actual
like, then we get the rebels start coming together and they charge the city all together because then Cassie escapes
yeah
and helps out that one
one
rebel
lady,
lady,
yeah, bust
and
her,
they get
and it
onto
felt
the.
exactly like Ragnarok. Like yeah, bust out all the other prisoners. It's like okay, you
Mhm.
did this already. You did this plot line.
Yeah, and like she gets on the radio and like gets everybody excited to now's the time.
Yeah,
Like were they though? Were they impressed? I don't know. Like it didn't seem
Apologies.
they seemed like they were fine.
yeah.
Like I don't know like why everybody was all of a sudden like, oh, we gotta save and help, destroy this capital city. And
Yeah.
the other thing was like, why does he need this army? Like he's a one-man army. But
Well, that's the thing. Like that seemed a little bit different for me. What they were going for is one. Well, I mean, Thanos had his minions as well, but
sure.
it's it's I don't know. I sorry. I had to
We're talking
deal with
about the
emotions.
now the rebels are charging the capital city area and to take it back. I guess it was used to be theirs.
I guess I we didn't get that. It would have been nice to know
It
what
was
they were trying to take back.
they dropped the
Uh,
line saying, "Oh, he took our homes," and
Yeah.
yeah, but it's just everything again, like you said, was like line drops. There was no visual representation. It was
Like
more like
show,
just
don't tell. You know, show, don't
yeah,
tell.
yeah, exactly. That's I think the biggest issue with this movie is there wasn't enough depth in terms of establishing things. Like I get sometimes you can put things in like lines, you can do it. But in this movie, there wasn't enough of the other part of it where you needed to actually visually represent certain things to give us that impactfulness of what we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. Yeah, I mean they went back to try to recapture the city. Um, and we have the fixed power core, correct?
Mhm.
Um,
We also learned that Hank finds out the ants have been contacting him through his hearing aid.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I did like that sequence. The like the fight with Kang was great actually with this whole thing. I like the fight with Modok. You're a dick. With Cassie. Don't be a dick.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's the best thing to say. So I did like that. I don't know if that would have changed his character, but that was a happenstance thing. But I did like Kang's fight when he actually came into battle. Like I felt like
Mm. Oh yeah.
you did get that imposing character of oh shit he's gonna kill everybody. And he didn't care. He was killing everybody. Um, but then you have
Yeah.
the 1,000-year-old ants that surprised him. I guess he hasn't
Yeah.
faced those in any timeline. So, but I did love the entrance of Hank with the ants. I love that. I thought that was a great sequence for Michael Douglas. I thought that was excellent, well done. And
You
yeah,
like Zance? That's his thing.
yeah, loves his ants.
He
Loves
loves
his
his
ants.
ants. I mean, I thought it was cool,
And-
like to see like an advanced ant species or whatever. I just wish they would have showed
Sure.
us more than they just have like laser things, like laser beam attachments or something like that. Like
Yeah,
that-
they were sci-fi ants.
yeah, like
They
at
were
that
sci-fi
point,
ants.
like
That's all
give
they
them
were.
telepathy, give them telekinesis or something. Like make them like fucking zany. Like you could do whatever. You're in fucking the quantum realm and stuff like that. But it just felt
Yeah.
like they're just Zerg rushing, and it's like okay, all right, and then.
Oh, that's what ants are, though. That's it, though. Zerg rush. That's an ant.
Well, no, that's fine, but like,
I feel like
make
most
it a bit
games
more
are-
believable. Like, yeah, he just couldn't take on that many super genetically
Well, like you
enhanced.
said, again, lost opportunities where like these ants advanced thousands of years in their civilization, and so yeah, let's see it instead of like you said, just a little helmet with a laser beam on it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we had MODOK also coming to save the day against Kang, right? I mean,
Yeah,
he will not be dick.
switch sides.
Yep. I think that the problem I had was the last fight sequences. Like, so you get the family back. I mean, am I skipping over here too much? I don't think I am. So the family goes back through the portal, and it's Scott versus Kang, and that's the part of the movie where I'm like, this is supposed to be the next Thanos and Kang the Conqueror, and we're
Well,
supposed
his
to believe
suit, he didn't have his suit, and all his power came from his suit.
it doesn't. I mean, he's
mean,
been
that's-
around for. He's all about
That's
the
what he
master
said,
of
though.
No, I
time.
know.
yeah, but that's
I
what
know
he's-
they said that. They did
like
establish
this is
that, but I just
something
felt
like
like
where like he needed his suit for like the superpowers and stuff like that. Like that's like Iron
true.
Man. If like his suit, if once his suit starts to go, like he's just a man.
I know. I just felt like him getting beat by Scott just lessens the villain.
Well, he did not
He didn't
necessarily
really-
get beat by Scott.
didn't really get-
He
I mean,
lost.
It's true.
Scott
Got lost.
Scott got his shit pushed in. Like
Yeah.
I thought we were going to see another Thanos stomping. Like we saw
Oh,
a
yeah.
decent amount of that. Like when he was
they
stepping
could
on his
have.
head and stuff. Like I was like,
They
oh.
could have done that. Yeah, I thought they were going to actually kill off Scott here.
That's
I thought
what
that
I.
would be kind of
That's
a-
what I was thinking. This
yeah.
whole, like I said this weeks ago, I was like, I kind of feel like Ant-Man's gonna die in this movie, and it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like they did film it, and they're just like, maybe this is too dark, and like just neg on
Maybe.
it.
I also thought he could just get stuck in the quantum realm with Kang. That's what
And
I
that's
thought
what they
was
said in the
cool way to
scenario.
end
They're
it,
like,
too.
we wanted,
Yeah.
like but like we already did that before, so like we want to do it again. But I was like, you did the prison break before, and you didn't have any problems doing that. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Well, no, I think the original ending was Hope and Scott stuck in the quantum realm and Kang escapes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that was the original ending.
Yeah.
And then they
And I think that
switched
would have
up.
worked great. I think that would have worked really well. Instead, we get this where it's a mega happy ending where he gets out,
Well,
and Kang stays or is dead. We don't know, and then you have the imposing thoughts that he has at the end of the movie where he's like, "Wait, maybe this is happening." And didn't he say they were going to come and kill everybody? Should I be worried about that? I did.
I mean, Kang states like he has to stop all the other Kangs. So
Yeah. So
Yep.
I don't know. It was a neat ending, I guess, if you look at it that way. But I just felt like the mid credit sequence with Kang's the Kang
Kang
Dynasty, didn't have as much impact because I felt like this guy just got his butt kicked by Ant-Man, which is nothing wrong with Ant-Man. Don't get me wrong, but it was Ant-Man without his suit as well. It's just Scott versus
Yeah, but he's.
Yeah.
I mean, he only beat him because he had the shrink and explosion stuff.
yeah, he did.
Like without that, he would have
That's true.
absolutely been dead. I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, like you could portray it like that, but I mean, the way I look at it is like, it's like fighting Aquaman underwater, right? You're gonna lose that. Like even a major
Yeah.
character would lose that battle because that's his natural habitat. Like
It was
Ant-Man
his
just
best
has-
chance to win was got it. Yeah.
Right. That's how I view to look at it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this my view. Like I mean, his suit was powerful, but like he can't grow, he can't shrink, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
He didn't have immunity to the devices and
So-
stuff like that.
What did you guys think about the mid credits? Did you like that?
Well, do you think he's dead? Because I mean, I don't think he's dead.
I don't think.
I mean, they said the announcement that he is dead. So
No, because I thought the whole
No, Kang
the
the
whole thing
Conqueror.
was Kang will return.
But there's so many Kangs.
There's so
is the
many
problem.
Kangs.
But they
That's
said
the thing,
Kang. They didn't
so-
say Kangs, or they didn't say the
Yeah.
Kang Dynasty. They said Kang will return.
Right. I don't know. I don't think he's dead either. I think this King is the one that's going to be the big bad when all said and done. But it is interesting that they then like shrink him again. Like we're already microscopic size, and then they keep shrinking. How far back down are we gonna go?
Yeah.
But as far as this king, like, because isn't this the king that's in the end of Loki? Like this is the king, the conqueror, right? Like,
No, it's a different guy.
No,
He talks about
that's
conquerors.
He
He
Who Will
talks about
Remain.
conquerors.
well,
Yeah.
no, that guy's dead. I'm talking about at the end of Loki when Loki comes back and he sees the
No.
statue.
Yeah, but is it a
Oh.
conqueror statue? Oh, I don't know. You're right. That's true.
I don't know. I don't know because we see Loki again, obviously in these end
Yeah,
credits.
and then we have that second one, which I actually enjoyed that too.
That's-
But
yeah, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. I feel like the king. It's just hard to get behind a villain when they've lost twice already.
yes, yeah, that's it. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, I
even
hear
when
you.
Thanos wasn't directly losing, he was getting pieces of the puzzle throughout the entire, build up. He wasn't losing directly, and that's the
But the thing
idea.
with Thanos is he was threatening because he was killing people. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what was missing from me. Like, I don't mind if the villain is losing. Like, I mean, because the thing is, like, I don't know. Maybe it's not going to play out this way with Kang Dynasty, but in my mind, it's you can defeat one Kang, that's fine, but another one's just going to show up. So like, but the thing is, like, he's just going to win via war of attrition, right? You only have so many Avengers to go around, and that's why I felt like him, like, killing Scott here, or trapping him or whatever would have been impactful because it's like, oh, like, okay, like he, did this, and that's just the start, right? Because that's exactly what I said when we went into Infinity War. I was like, I want to see Thanos show up at the start and just fucking kill somebody. Like, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, he needs to make an entrance, right? Because we haven't seen him
And-
do
and
anything. And that's what he
impactful, too.
did,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He beat
yeah.
up the Hulk. He fucked up Thor.
Kills
and
Loki.
Kills Loki.
Kills Loki, yeah.
Kills
half of the Asgardians.
Yeah. He kills Heimdall right in front of Thor. It's just like, that's an entrance. Like, that's an entrance. And I felt Kang needed something like that in this movie, and he didn't have that.
Gotcha.
And you had
No,
that
you're right.
fear from the because like Janet has this fear that Hulk had
Yeah.
for Thanos,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you didn't feel it. You didn't
feel
feel it the same way that Hulk, because Hulk, you saw him, you see the experience that he has
Yeah.
by getting his
Yeah.
shit pushed
Right.
in essentially.
Or even like if you don't want to kill Scott, kill Hank, kill Janet.
I
Or
really
Hulk.
thought Hank was going to go.
Yeah.
I thought they were. I thought they could both because they're older actors and they may not want to do another one at all. So it's like they're not going to get another movie anyways at this point. So I thought they would do some sort of impactful deaths. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, overall, like I said, I thought this movie was probably a 7.
Yeah,
for me.
that's where I was last week. When I said
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is like I'm kind of being hard on this movie because I liked a lot of parts of it. I just felt like they
don't-
had so much more to give.
they didn't stick,
Yeah.
they didn't stick the landing.
And it was 2 hours and
it's-
5 minutes, but they just didn't have enough, which is
Well,
crazy.
yeah,
to
it was
say.
just a lot of like this is like again we talk about how movies felt like oh this was just to push the next thing. This was supposed to be to push the next thing, but I felt it was way like on its own, standing by itself. Here I
Yeah.
am. Like you,
Gotcha.
like you separate everybody from the real world. Like so again, you're just isolating everything anyway, putting
Yeah.
them in this world that nobody's ever seen before. It's all CGI. So it's like so much is in its own thing. And then your villain is supposed to be this, big bad that's on the horizon, and yet he gets defeated in this movie in a very seemingly like permanent way. And then you shoe in this ending and say, oh well, there's more of them. Here's more. If you've never saw Loki, like that's all you would know about. And then
Yeah. Yeah, how
Like,
do you
and
do
then
that though?
what's this other
'Cause they
ending
can't
all about?
count on the fact that everybody's watched Loki. They have to do that. They have to establish that. So
That's fine. It's just I don't know. I feel like it's mid. I had some enjoyable
Yeah.
moments. I had some laughs and stuff like that.
absolutely.
I just think overall it was a misstep for what people wanted out of an Ant-Man 3. I do think the critics were being way harsher on it. Like I don't see
Yeah.
like
No.
to me Thor still Love and Thunder is still worse than this. Like I just don't
Yeah,
understand.
no. I think my point was though is like I understand the drop. Like that's where I understand the drop. The financial drop from this movie is I get it because I can see this being a middling kind of movie. It's not as bad as Thor, and it should have had. It should be better than that. But
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
And
Yeah.
one of the biggest travesties as well is he didn't have his crew in this
Yeah,
movie at all.
Luis,
all.
come on, Luis.
I mean,
Luis
like,
needed to be in there.
The
You know,
ending, like he could have like summarized Ant-Man 1 and 2. He could have summarized what happened in like phase 4. He could have just done like whatever, like just to
Right?
get
Like
people on board.
how perfect would it have been in the beginning when he was reading his own book at the library or the
Yeah.
bookstore or whatever? What if Luis was like, "Here's how you catch it," and he was like going through the Ant-Man 1 and 2 stories to like lead
Right.
up to the book, and like Scott would have been like, "Luis, let me tell the story." Something like that. Like I don't know. Again, I'm not a movie writer, but that's how I would have done it. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and like again, the
It
same
was
thing
nice,
at the end.
definitely.
He could have like summarized what just happened to people, like oh, and
Yeah.
they went into the quantum and like, whatever. It's just like doing like the Louis thing. Like we
yeah,
missed that. Like that's like a trademark of an Ant-Man
exactly.
movie, and
Yeah,
he didn't even have
yeah.
it.
He could have ended too.
Yeah.
Like Scott, yeah, and Scott killed Kang. We think,
Mhm.
maybe not. You know, like oh shit, like
I don't know.
you
Yeah.
know.
So
And like I like this crew too, like
the rest of the
the
crew is
other
great too.
guys.
Yeah.
So
So
miss them.
all right. So yeah, that's our spoiler cast for Ant-Man and Wasp in the quantum realm, in the Quantumania. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, we do bonus rounds occasionally. I can see us doing more for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, definitely. Mario, probably. Just giving you guys stuff on the horizon. Game-wise, a little difficult, but we sometimes overlap, so we might do some then. So just stay tuned. Moviecast, Gamecast, once again, always on Twitch live Tuesday nights starting at 8 o'clock. So always join us there and have fun. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to YouTube and the Twitch channel so you get all the notifications latest and greatest. And that's going to do it, guys. We are